It's been 4 years since aviation enthusiasts in Innisfail began restoring a Second World War aircraft in a garage. Vern Duick is a retired power engineer and member of the Harvard Historical Aviation Society, a non-profit preserving the history of the former Penhold military base, now the Red Deer Airport. The team received a collection of old parts of the aircraft from museums across Alberta and Saskatchewan. It was a 1941 Airspeed Oxford, a twin-engine plane used to train pilots during the war.
It was basically about 80% wood aircraft, and all the wood over the years is rotted, so we're rebuilding all the wood parts. And the metal parts have all rusted, so we're cleaning those up, refurbishing them, and painting those as well, and then reassembling it.
Duick says the garage simply became the most workable space.
So what do you think today as far as what we should work on here?
Duick works alongside volunteer David Kolesnik, also a retired power engineer who grew up around aircrafts on military bases.
I grew up on, my dad was in the armed forces, so I've been on more than a few air bases. So I've always kind of been around airplanes and had an interest with planes and history. So when this came about, it drew me into it because I love history.
When they first received it, the plane was just piles of rusted, unmarked parts. Their first step: identify, catalog, and rebuild piece by piece. Between 1941 and 1944, more than 100 Oxfords were stationed at Penhold, where over 1,200 pilots trained before heading overseas. This Oxford will be for display only, but they still have a long way to go, with roughly 10% completed. Meanwhile, not far away at the Innisfail Flying Club, the society is restoring a Tiger Moth, which will be flyable.
This airplane was a young kid right out of high school, joined the Air Force, wants to be a pilot. They'd walk him over to one of these, and in 6 or 8 hours, he would have to learn to solo it. If he didn't, next. It was wartime, they didn't have time.
Once completed, Society President Jody Smith says this Airspeed Oxford will be the only one on public display in North America. They say the goal isn't just to display planes, but to preserve the stories that connected them.
Not everyone was killed overseas. We lost a lot of people, men at this base while they were training as well. And those stories we want to ensure that our future generations know that you don't have to travel overseas to find World War II history. It's right here in your backyard.
For Duick and others, restoring the aircraft is their way of honoring those stories. Nadeer, Hashmi, CBC News, Red Deer.